There ain't no rest for the wicked. Welcome to the market recap show. We had a wicked ending right there as the market just fell down just a little bit there for the NASDAQ. And what a big day it was, up 1.6%. And it got going real early, man. Well, first of all, this is middle of the day when we had the bond auction coming out at 463 versus 431 or 434. That really got the market bumping as well. But check out this, as we'll zoom out a little bit. Whoa, there it is right there. That's the PPI number coming out at 0.2 versus 0.3 month over month. 2.1 versus 2.2 year over year, but continues to make a move higher here is the NASDAQ. Now again, let's look at a daily chart for the NQs. That's a 3-minute chart. That's still a 3-minute chart. This turning back and forth here, I got to figure this out. I'm doing something wrong. Let me go over to a daily quickly and just look at the NASDAQ just to show you we are very, very close to breaking out. The market sprung to the upside today during the midday session following that 30-year bond auction, and that's sort of what this was right there. Just started to get going, and we never really stopped after that. How important was that? 467 versus 433 there on the 30-year bond. Fed speak rolls out all day today. The market just continues to pump higher. PPI print 2.1 versus 2.2. That's a banger. Actually, let's do this one. Let's think about all these calculations as we go. Month over month, 0.2 versus 0.3. We had yesterday, however, CPI numbers yesterday send the market the other way yesterday. Get out of here. Look at this on CPI yesterday, PPI today, end result higher. What a monster this market continues to be. Both Fed Williams and Fed Collins both saying the market cuts will come, but they potentially will just happen later on in the year. So once again, anybody looking at Fed rate cuts, and we talked about this with Frank Caberna. We talked about this live 2 days ago when it was a 2% chance for no cuts whatsoever. Well, check this out. Here's the Fed rate tool. Let's go to December right now and see what they're saying for December. There it is. There is an 11% chance now that we stay. Oh, let me zoom this out. 11% chance now from 2% to 11 that there are no cuts. 10% chance? Nah, I don't know. I'm not sure if we agree with that. But there it is right there. I mean, that's just what's priced in. The market's wrong until it's right, I guess. Does that make any sense? All right, today, the Mag 7 names. Let's have a quick look at this. Where is it? There it is right here. You might want to get my face off here for a second, Fabian, just so I could zoom this and just have a quick look. So here we go. This is the Mag 7 sort of movement today. Most of the Mag 7 names were strong today, especially... Dun, 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 dun. It's the biggest and the baddest of them all. It is King Apple going upside. It is King NVDA. And what should you do as far as trading is concerned? Oh yeah, keep doing the same thing. Go Apple, go NVIDIA, go Google, go Microsoft, go Meta. It's a Mag 4, Mag 5, Mag 7. How many Mags are there? Big time moving to the upside. Meanwhile, where's my friend Morgan Stanley? Here's the banks. Where's Morgan? Oh no, there's Morgan Stanley down there, down 5.25%. And like I said, all of a sudden, man, all the movements today that happened in crypto, all the movements that happened in the NASDAQ today, the P&L #1 today, trade on the floor, on the show. Wow, NVIDIA 906. Let's go on NVIDIA. The #1 trade today was taken live. Right in front of everybody, right in front of whoever was here. This was at 2 o'clock. So we had everybody with us. We had Sharif, we had Adara, we had Neil, we had Brendo, we had everybody here. We had all of you with us when we put this trade on. And there it goes. It's Morgan Stanley. It's a downside push there as Morgan Stanley drops on a Wall Street report that they are looking into its wealth segment and possible mishandling of client acquisitions, things like that. Go find the report. I'm not here to read you the rights here on that. But what I am here to tell you is, uh-oh, and uh-oh again. call somebody that cares, because we just put this name on watch, and it was Morgan Stanley down into the downside. I want to thank absolutely everybody that's rocking with me today, because this has been a very, very awesome opportunity for me on this market recap show. Couldn't do anything without all of you. So we'll do a market recap, what we just did. Then we'll talk about earnings tomorrow. Then we'll have, again, we'll just keep rolling out the best guests, period. We'll have Danielle Shay coming through. She'll talk about options. We already have the plan of action on that one. We're going to talk about Amazon. We're going to talk about NVDA. What's next? What's the next stock to go? She's got an idea there. We're going to talk about that. But without all of you, we don't have anything. Over 2,800 right now. Thank you so much for watching. What's up? There's my guy. What's up, Apple Fritter? I've already given you props for that name. No more. Apple and raisin pancake with powdered sugar. What exactly is happening? What's up, Chef Joe? Chef Joe knows what's cooking up there today. Congratulations, Chef. You were right on with NVIDIA. Monster day right there so far. Is Miss Shay in the chat? Oh, hey, yow, there she is. What's up, Danielle? You can join whenever you want. There it is. Anyways, as we go on today, what was moving around the financials today? FDS. We've got some big reports coming in the next tomorrow and the next couple days. We start tomorrow with JP Morgan. We start with Wells Fargo. We start with, what else did I write down there? Citigroup. So let's just have a quick look. Look, I'm getting smarter, by the way, every day. I feel like I'm getting not smarter, but my analysis seems to be getting better, so let's give some credit to that. Let's look at the RSI just really quickly. This is something that I've brought into everybody's attention with JP Morgan, okay? Look at this. Hey, how come my Epic pen always get... Okay, I got a... JPMQ? No, I never looked at that. Okay, there we go. We're talking to the Chilean nightmare over there. Here we go. Look at JP Morgan. Top up here, right? So as you can see, we're forming a little bit of a channel here. But look what's happening down here on the RSI, right? We are heading lower. We are actually starting to diverge now. So as JP Morgan seems to get bumped back up here just a couple days ago into those levels, you can see right away that the RSI is back down in to some of these lows again that we've seen before jump-off points. So I feel that if we get a good report here, RSI is about halfway, so at 50 points, that's not a bad spot there for the RSI. Generally, you want to fade when you're at 80 and buy when you're in and around 30. If we can go back over to the chart, Fabian, just really quickly. So these have been good areas to potentially fade, as you can see up here. The last time we got a little hot, we did pull back. The one thing to acknowledge about JP Morgan, we talked about this yesterday, was look at the distance between the JP Morgan. This is also true of many different names, right? Let's go over quickly. First of all, let's get rid of that and let's go over to the SPY or Qs or anything you want. The 50 period, right? We're getting separated away from this. We are expecting a little bit of a pullback in. So that's happened over the last couple days. You don't want to get too extended away from that 50 period. And that's sort of what's been happening here with the Qs as well as the spiders. So that's given pulls back into these levels. So if we do get a miss for JP Morgan or a miss for Wells Fargo or Citigroup, look at the pullback into the 50 period as potential support zones. Let's just look at Wells Fargo. Estimated 109 a year ago, 123. So looking lower. Revenue estimate 20.1 billion. Last year at this time, 20.7 billion. So we are looking for lower numbers in some of these names. Even JP Morgan, the number that I have is 418 on the estimate. Last year's EPS 410. Revenue estimate 40 billion, 78. Last year's 38.3. So JP Morgan looking for higher EPS. Wells Fargo looking for lower as compared to last year. So you got to do your research. Citigroup the other way around as well. EPS estimate 129. Last year 219, looking lower. Revenue estimates lower for Citigroup as well. So it looks like they're expecting big things from JP Morgan, but it's Citigroup right now that's down that 5% from highs. So, you know, interesting names there in the banking sector. XLF, of course, could be something to look for. A pullback to XLF right now into the 50-period moving average. So we're a couple minutes away from having Danielle on. Let's go over a trade that she hasn't joined yet. No, so a 4:15 generally is when we have the guests. So I know my guy Fabian over there. Let's have a drink of water first of all. Shout out to Hydration Nation. We started at 8:30. Actually, my daughter woke, first of all, my wife and daughter were up this morning at 5:30. I got up at like 6:15. We jumped on the Peloton. We did our thing. We're into work here. But we've been on the air basically since 8:30 all the way till now. Cheers. I lied. I mean, obviously, we have time off in the middle of the day. So there's that. Okay, UNG, a stock that was talked about by Michael Noss and Brian, just Michael, I think, actually, not Chris, not Brian. On Monday, we talked about UNG. UNG touching these lows. I don't, honestly, this is called the Widowmaker. Heading into potentially easier temperatures now, spring. It's gorgeous around here right now. I think it's 65 Fahrenheit or so, 18 degrees Celsius hitting in and around Toronto. Generally speaking, and I'm not a trader of nat gas, but I don't think the summer is going to be, look, global warming is a problem, but what it did do, especially around here, we basically had the mildest winter that I can ever remember. Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know if it's going to be the mildest one on record, but I shoveled like twice. And honestly, for here, and what I'm talking about is a couple inches of snow. I ain't talking about like, oh my God, where's the car? Where's my dog type of stuff. I'm talking about like, don't leave your dog out during a snowstorm. By the way, I'm going to ask Danielle Shay. Let's talk about leaving animals outside during snowstorms. I don't think she has any snowstorms over there. But I hope that she's got one of those animals. I'm going to ask her if she's got one of those chickens running around there. Or one of those little miniature horses I believe she wanted. Ponies. UNG downside. What else was red today, guys? We had TAN that was red. I mean, some of these interest rate sensitive sectors starting to go the other way. GLD also, wow, what a move happening on gold right now. And actually, I wanted to show something here, and that was this. There's a tweet that I found here, and this was the top. Actually, you know what? Let's retweet this out because this is pretty interesting here. The top countries. Let's just go quote this. I'm going to say like this. Interesting. Like that. Intertesting. Right there about gold. So we'll just do that. We'll have a quick look. These are, and we've already looked at this. Gold reserves by countries. Germany? All right, so it's USA. First of all, you know what? Like, knock, knock, Fort Knox. Anybody home? I don't know if there's any gold in there or not, but right now the USA claims to have the most gold there. Shout out to my paisans in Italy. We're always the best investors. Not. You should see our banking system. France, Russia right there, and China. So I think Russia and China, I've been hearing that they're buying more gold. So I feel like a lot of this recent run up has probably to do with interest from Russia and China again. Because guess what? These are two nations right now that if the United States or anything were to ever happen on a global scale, you saw what happened, unfortunately, to the Israeli shekel when that was happening and still going on with Palestine. We've seen, obviously, the Russian ruble get completely destroyed on tariffs, on various, now, there's been battles back. I'm talking about when they first went into Ukraine. It actually makes sense for some of these central banks or these countries to start buying some gold in case something does wind up happening to their currency. What should have they bought, though, Fabian? Fabian? Bitcoin, Fabian, come on. I mean, you're the Bitcoin bull around here. Look at Bitcoin today. Huge move up. Bitcoin really holding out well, man. I think El Salvador went into Bitcoins, 36, 37,000, something like that. And now you see what's happening right now with BTC, as we can see, up to 70 and looking pretty strong up near the highs for Bitcoin. But no, I'm just kidding around. I don't know if anybody should be putting a whole heck of a lot of money in crypto. I do think now with the space being justified with 13 ETFs, I believe, could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. You now have other alternatives other than opening up wallets that may be hard to understand, or getting a Robinhood, a PayPal, whatever account you want. Definitely some of these ETFs justifying the space. All right. Yeah, well, Canada's different. There are going to be some major banks there in the United States that do have various things like that. I didn't even say that we are taking questions with Danielle Shay, but they're already coming in. I'll see what kind of, yeah, they're already in. You let me know when she's ready, because we're going to bring her on immediately, which apparently is right now. Okay, I'm always in a good mood when Danielle Shay is on. What kind of mood are you in, Miss Danielle Shay?
I'm in a great mood. How are you guys doing today?
I mean, wow. I don't know if you expected that today. I mean, me and you went back and forth. I was pretty short for a while. I had NVDA as my reddest name because I was just like, nope, nope, nope. And it was just saying, yep, yep, yep. And we just kept on going to the high side. I personally, Danielle, did not think that we would be double up what we were down yesterday. I thought the CPI was a little bit more important than this PPI number, but I guess not.
Man, I have to agree with you, Shawn, and I have to tell you, I'm a little annoyed at myself because, I very rarely get short because I follow the trend and I trade relative strength, but I did have 2 shorts on today. That was not very enjoyable. However, the rest of those relative strength longs, that's what I'm going to continue focusing on here, especially because of the way that we reversed so well off of those lows.
What were you short? I mean, I can, I'll show you here. Let me show you my NVIDIA trade, which was horrible, by the way. And I'm going to talk about this. One of my biggest issues is being stubborn. So like 885, hey, shout out to my wife, 885 right there, nice downside. I thought that was going to hold. I thought 890 was going to hold until it didn't. I thought 895, 900 was going to hold until it didn't. But thankfully, Danielle, I got out of the way, let this thing close at 907. Was NVIDIA one of the stocks that potentially threw you for a loop today?
It wasn't actually NVIDIA because I do normally stick to the upside on NVIDIA just because it has that relative strength. I was trying to short these two that just haven't really been doing very well going into earnings. So you have Apple that was, about to fall off of a cliff here. So that one, especially since they've gapped down 3 quarters in a row after earnings, that one looked like a pretty good shot for a rollover and die.
Yep.
Up 4%, so that was not ideal. And then, same thing with Tesla. You have Tesla that's gapped down 4 times in a row going into earnings. So, I actually didn't take a stop on these. I don't know. Sometimes you get some of these rallies after CPI.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can come in and take another entry or not to the short side because I still think they're relative strength losers here. But I was wrong on these 2 today.
I mean, that's something that I've definitely added to this conversation too, is the RSI. I mean, I don't know. Even if you look here at the NASDAQ, just for example, come over here, Fabian, just real quick. These are the cues, and I'll let Danielle set this up because I know she wants to talk maybe a little bit about Amazon. This 450, we're getting very, very close right now to some of these highs in the NASDAQ, but the RSI has really been sort of trending down basically since February, and that sort of left our market barcoded right now. The one question I have for you, Danielle, is you've had for us before the put call spread, and I don't know if you're noticing that maybe is getting sort of slanted one way or the other. Last time it was heavily towards the put side, and that really gave a good catalyst for the market to shoot up. Is there anything that's catching your eye on that heading into earnings season?
Oh, definitely. So, I mean, I love to look at, getting long when the put call ratio gets a little bit too extended. And so if we go here and look over at my market internals grid, the put call ratio got pretty high yesterday. On an intraday basis, it was up at 1. And so that is actually the level that you generally look for bounce. Typically, it needs to be up there for more than just one day, though. So I think that the reversal is pretty swift in this case, but typically, yes, when the put call ratio is up above 1, even on an intraday basis, that's going to be the time where all you need is just a gap up the next day, some sort of reason, some sort of catalyst, and boom, that's when you get those amazing rallies.
All right, and we did have that today. So good look on the put call ratio. All right, you've absolutely nailed some of these names going into earnings for us in the past. So what is the one name? I know we have banks on our mind. I mean, it's open floor to you. What do we want to talk about now heading into later on in the end of the month? We got big tech names. Is there anything that's catching your eye? What are we trying to set up for?
So, right now, Microsoft is my number one long. I think that Microsoft, especially now that Amazon has come up and hit a new high, Microsoft hit a new high just a couple of weeks ago and it came back and it was consolidating. This is a stock that almost always rallies going into earnings. And I thought for a little bit, well, maybe it already made the new high and it's not going to, but with the way that the NASDAQ reversed off of the 50 simple and with the incoming volume that we've seen today in Microsoft, we still have squeezes here that are setting up for a consolidation breakout. And we're just within a stone's throw of that previous all-time high. So, I'm trading this one. It's also a long stock portfolio holding that I have. I'm targeting 430 at first, but I think we can actually get up into about 435, 440. So that's going to be the number one ticker that I'm trading right now.
I mean, Danielle, we're going to get to 430 tomorrow. I mean, honestly, Microsoft today closes 428. I mean, what a monster rally in some of these names. I mean, look at even Microsoft off the bottom. It's so funny that we talk about this used to matter. Like, remember when like $8 or $10 or $50 was like a big move? Now NVIDIA, like if you catch it off the open, you can get a $30 or $40 move. What has that done to options and the pricing of that? Like, don't you see crazy movements, especially as these stocks continue to get so high in value? Like, you must be excited for a split of something like CMG. I wonder if NVIDIA splits again.
The NVIDIA split, the last split that they had was like my trade that I had of the year. So I think that if NVIDIA announces a split,
come over to my screen.
I'll be so happy because stocks, stocks like this that, announce a split, they do typically have a great rally going into the split and then they have a rally afterwards. So, with something like NVIDIA, I can see why you were looking to short it. I mean, it was getting pretty frothy, but that reversal today was absolutely gorgeous. And I think at this point, now that it's held the lows, it's trading higher, we're seeing incoming volume, we have a squeeze. I think it can trade back up into 950 and then up into 1,000. So, I mean, for me, with something like NVIDIA, I trade options. And so I'm able to, use a lot less money to trade it, but it still is challenging because the options are expensive. That's why I trade a lot of spreads. But that's also why I've been pointing members toward ARM, because ARM has a pretty similar pattern. I think that this one's setting up really well. You have a previous breakaway gap, you've got a squeeze, you have earnings coming up. And stocks like this that had a breakaway gap the previous quarter typically are going to rally going into earnings. And I mean, it's a much cheaper name.
Sorry about that, Danielle. I had to have a makeup change here. Fabian's like, oh, I got some powder on my face. I like ARM. I mean, you just nailed that one. I think NVIDIA is a little bit tricky to trade because some days NVIDIA leads the way to the downside. It's hard to look. I've been switching over to the SMH, actually. I've been preferring that to trade. ARM May 8th. NVIDIA May 22nd. I think ARM has a great opportunity to make that move back up to the upside. I'm not sure if SoftBank, have you heard anything? Have they been selling anything? I'm not even sure. The flow right now is over 1 billion shares, but we knew that SoftBank only released like 8% of this or something off the open, and they had that one lockup day. And let me go back over to a daily chart. Do you remember what day that was? Because I don't think it was March 18th or something like that. We were expecting a big move down here on that lockup, and it really has held. So I'm liking that 50-period moving average, and I like what you're talking about there with ARM. So, okay. Microsoft's the next one. Amazon happened today. Google is absolutely hot fire. I'm going to keep it in the chip. First of all, I have to ask you, can we take some questions from our audience?
Of course, we can always. I'm happy to take questions anytime.
All right, Ms. Shay, here we go. It's time for what is Neil's favorite pastry. Come over here. It's Mr. Apple Fritter. You like apple fritters, Danielle?
I do like apple fritters, yes.
Yeah, they have to be made properly for sure. Here at Tim Hortons, when you come to Toronto, which you are coming here, we're going to go to Tim Hortons. I'm going to spend $1.50. I know, it's, Thank me later. And I'm going to get you an apple fritter. You're going to like that there. All right. Will you talk about AMD into earnings? So that's the question as we, got to get back to the market. AMD earnings is April 30th. So we're just 2 weeks away from this. It looks to me like we've had about a 20% or so pullback in this name. But guess what, Danielle? We are sitting, on my opinion, at a wicked level here at 162. Looks like we can support that back into the beginning of the year. How is AMD setting up on your charts?
Okay, guys. So everybody's asking me about AMD, and I think I have the unpopular opinion here because I do this run into earnings trade every single quarter. And I will tell you that I love AMD. I'm a shareholder, but this thing has kicked me in the teeth because it's incredibly inconsistent going into earnings. So, overall, if you look at the last 8 quarters, on average, yes, it does rally about 3.5% in the 21 bar time frame going into earnings. But what you'll notice is that sometimes, for whatever reason, it just completely rolls over and dies going into earnings. Sometimes the moves are great. Sometimes it's a little bit flat. So I actually stopped trading this one for the typical rally going into earnings. I think right here, it's also just pretty dicey because it's broken down below the 50 simple. I don't like buying something below the 50 simple. Could you try to buy it off of the 100, off of 165? You definitely could, but I'm not going to buy this one because, like I said, it's gotten me a few times, and I just prefer to stick with tickers like this that are just a little bit better, in an upside trend.
Yeah, they just make more sense. I mean, I just highlighted right here as well on my chart that I'd rather trade this is the 50 period right there. So it actually coincides with this 180 level. So I'd rather see them put up a good report, break through here, then we'll use that as the jumping spot to get back over 200. So I think that's a good look there. And there's something to be said about that, right, Danielle, is that if you don't have sort of good mojo with the stock, or maybe you potentially haven't been feeling it on the past couple reports and your read is just wrong, to step away from it. So I feel like that was, again, absolutely great advice. Okay, this is one that I just saw right now. So I'm going to say a big shout out to Joe Schmo, and it's about the banks. So Danielle, if you want to, get ready. He'd like to know if there's anything that has a setup right now, which one for, I guess, which options, or sorry, what are your opinions on which bank will potentially do the best? It doesn't have to be JPM, Citigroup, or Wells Fargo, but Goldman Sachs or any of the major banks. Have you had a chance to look at them? I'm sure you've been getting questions about this as we're starting tomorrow. What name, and again, looks like it may set up the best for a potential beat and hopefully raise?
So, I mean, honestly, for me, I know it's kind of a little cliche to pick JP Morgan, but that's the one that I always pick. And the reason why is it's consistent. If you look at the last 4 quarters, it's gapped up 4 quarters in a row. It's in this nice trend. It's pulled back to the 21 EMA. I just find JP Morgan to be the most consistent out of the banks. So if I'm going to trade a bank, it's going to be JP Morgan. If you look at Goldman Sachs, I mean, half the time over the last 8 quarters, a little bit more than half the time, yes, it has traded higher, but it's also traded lower, and the trend isn't as strong as JP Morgan. So that's why that one I don't generally focus on. Wells Fargo, it does look pretty good right here, but I still think that for a significant portion of the last 2 years, it was basically just chopping around. So that's why I always stick with JP Morgan Chase. And ideally, they have a good report, they gap up, and it will continue to cause the market to rally into next week.
Yeah, I like JP Morgan at those levels. I just say you trade the best names and stick with them. And then, hey, maybe they'll lead this bank rally higher. Another question we keep getting, people are loving the shirt. They're loving all that. But you know what they're saying? They're saying, where can I get one? Where can we get one? But until I get one, I mean, I don't know if we can promote this. Are you guys selling those shirts? Is there any interest on that swag?
Okay, so Simpler Trading just gave this to me because I work there and I've been trying to get you one, and they said, oh, we don't have any. So I'm going to make a special order for one just for you.
I appreciate that.
You know what?
Yep.
What?
No, go ahead.
But since there's been so much interest in the trader merch, I thought to myself, you know what? I should just make an Etsy store. So now I'm thinking about making my own Etsy store. So whatever hilarious and inappropriate trading statement you
You
want,
know,
just type it in the chat and maybe I'll put it on a shirt.
for how long I've been trying to get merch running around here, and now you're just going to open up an Etsy store. I love it, though. Shout out to Miss Danielle Shay. But yeah, let's get those hoodies going as well. I forget what I was going to say, actually, but it was something pretty funny. I'll see if I can remember it coming up pretty soon. But yeah, great hoodie right there. Oh, how's the farm going? You got anything back there? I meant to ask you that.
Okay, so I haven't bought any animals yet because I've been just dealing with a lot of things with the
Okay.
new house, just
Yep.
things that have got to be done. But I will tell you guys that I was hanging out in my laundry room the other day and a full-size turkey just
Oh,
showed
wow,
up
wow,
in my
wow.
backyard.
So that's good. So you kind of have like, some squawkers there hanging out, chilling out there, but no fig tree yet, nothing yet. So we'll hold out for hope that eventually does come through. Okay, I don't need to keep people calling you the entrepreneur of the year. By the way, another thing that you've been building very impressively as well, by the way, Danielle, is your YouTube page. So traders can not only find you at Trader Danielle, you see what I'm doing here, Danielle? But we can also find you on your YouTube page. So if you're ready, we can show that. You can describe maybe what one of your past videos are. I see on these videos you have 3 different hairstyles as well. Well done.
Well, try to make it a little bit interesting, change it up every now and
All right,
again.
all right.
So,
So what's your
but
what's your
yeah.
latest video?
So, I pulled together all the videos that I've made over the years. I never had my own channel until recently. So I've got tons of videos in here about options, butterflies, all kinds of stuff. But the latest series that I just started is the trade review series because people are always asking me about my trades. And
Yeah.
so all these pink videos, I've just basically been making videos that explain, hey, this is why I got in the trade. This is how much money I made. This is why I got out. And here's the setup if you want to try to trade it again next time.
Perfect. We absolutely love that. And I remember what I was going to say, Danielle, is that if the only way to get one of those hoodies is that you have to work with Simpler Trading, I'll sign a 1-day contract. We'll go over there, be part of like the agreement. You know how like when players retire and they come back and they just sign the 1 day so they can go tip the cap. But shout out to Chris Brecher as well over there at Simpler Trading. So Danielle, once again, best of luck with all of your trading. Thank you so much for joining me once again on the Market Recap Show. Anything you want to leave our viewers?
I'm just looking forward to seeing you guys next week and the rest of this month. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of action. I'm personally pleasantly surprised that the market bounced so well today, and I think it bodes well for the next couple of weeks going into tech earnings.
The one thing, I'm not letting you go yet because I forgot something. Come over to the chat right here quickly, Fabian. This is my bad, Ian. I was talking all day because you and I had messaged. We're going to talk about Amazon just for 1 minute, Danielle, because I know you got to go and I got to go as well. But we were going to talk a little bit about Amazon. What a big move they've had here, breaking out. If you look at the weekly, the thing about Amazon, and there you go, guys. I've got you guys. So there it is right there. My bad, and thank you for bringing it up again. Like Ian Zorniak, like you promised, like that, pulling out my heartstrings right there, Ian. Come on, man. But there it is right there. Look at Amazon. How beautiful is this? It kind of just is like, wow, we're getting ready to take out this all-time high in and around 189. And in fact, today we did make a brand new all-time high on Amazon. So what are we looking at? Like, how perfect is this? Just boom, V'd it up, right back there, right back up to the upside right here, bouncing so wickedly off that 50 period, starting to go back up to the upside. What's up with Amazon? Any future looks for this name?
Yes, Amazon looks great. I was trading Amazon this week. That was actually the last video that I made on my YouTube channel. And I think that ultimately it's going to trade up into 220, probably even up into 250 on a longer term basis. If you look at a weekly chart and throw some Fibonacci levels on there, I think the stock is looking great. There's a lot of good upside potential. The way that it shifted off of the lows, earnings have been really good. So this was one of the stocks that I was buying quite a bit of last year. And, at this point, it's kind of seems a little late to buy more at the new high, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think especially now that it's made a new high, we can keep trading that momentum.
Hey, we love Trend. Trend is definitely your friend, and I'm glad that you are also, hopefully, a friend of mine as well. Thank you so much, Danielle Shay, for coming through. She's in the chat. Maybe stay there for a couple minutes if you have a second. Lots of people subbing to your channel and everything. So great. I'm so happy for that. So thank you, Miss Danielle Shay. We'll see you back next week if all is well, and good luck on all of your positions and all the trades that you have on. It's Miss Danielle Shay. Thank you. Ciao. That was Trader Talk. Man, we put in the hours, but you know the good thing about this is traders stay late. That's the hashtag that we've been talking about. And there we got another one right there. Very professional. Thank you, Miss Danielle Shay, for always coming up and providing new ideas, explaining things. And again, how awesome is that YouTube page easily just showing you guys, you know, where she's getting in, why, the profits, the ins, the outs. Awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle. We've all learned a lot from you. But the one thing that I learned is I don't do any of this without you. It's roll call. That's right. I always say that because you know what? We had some people working for us a while ago, and they're always like, damn, Daniel. But you know what? I should be like, damn, Danielle. There it is right there. What's up, Juan? Good point right there. But without everybody watching, we don't have anything, so let's go. It's roll call. Who's the traders that are staying late with your boy right now? Oh, it's Miss Danielle Shay. What's up, Danielle? What's up? Andrew's here as well. Bears vs. Bulls is here. Poppin' Shorts is here. Put your ones up in the chat if you want me to say hi. Put your ones up for Danielle Shay. Let's let everybody know that we love this show. There's some highs. What's up, Andrew Chow? Caputi. Terrible Tribble Trader. Uh-oh, here we go. DJ Marshall. We're going to start getting pumped up right now. What's up, Christopher Holcomb? There's Bears vs. Bulls. Hey, he's the first one there. Huge. Oh, you almost got me there, Hugh. You almost got me. What's up, Bright Awakening? AV is here as well. Danielle, say my name, say my name. Says Kind Ready is there as well. Mike Breeze with the hearts. Big ups. Oh no, now the ones are coming in. What have we done? Shout out to Ian. Shout out to, okay, I can't keep up. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Art King. Shout out to Michelle Meir. What's up, Michelle? What's up to Darwin? Oh, now we're getting good. Yo, what's up? Donnie Zimbabwe is here. NVIDIA Reversal 905. Check me tomorrow, Donnie Zimbabwe. I'll have some more answers for you. Oh, a bunch of ones. What's up, Bright Awakening, Caputi, and all of that. That's it for roll call. Thank you so much to everybody. That was absolutely fantastic. Traders stay late. And you did that with me, and that means a heck of a lot. Look, that's a good point. Tomorrow's trade. Sometimes we talk about tomorrow's trade today. That MS trade, though, we never know where these trades are coming from. The one thing I want to tell everybody about how I trade, okay? Morgan Stanley, let's go. Look at this short. I should show this to Danielle. You know, trying to suck up, you know, short these trades. There it is. Look at this move down. Not only do we break the day's low, that was sort of what got me excited, but what got me over to the name was something that was pretty simple. This show, by the way, don't know if I said this yet, sponsored by Benzinga Pro. Pick up your Benzinga Pro platform, ASAP. All right, so here it is right here. Morgan Stanley shares are trading lower following a report that their wealth management arm has been probed by federal regulators. Well, we had that live for you on the show. This is the thing. When we took this trade right here, it was going against us. But then, boom, goes the dynamite. We took the shares. My stop was 91. We were going to give it back to this base or this support level. We got short. Our average price was about 90 quarters, something like that. So 75 cents worth of risk to the maximum spot at the high side. And then we went all the way down. And this was a wicked, wicked trade for sure. Move this out of the way, Epic Pen. Once we stopped there at 87.50, we got out there like, why not, man? 250 in the money. Then we put our stop at the bottom of the day, 86. And man, oh man, did that come in. There we go. Thank you so much for saying that this should possibly be framed on a wall. What's up, AV, man? Yeah, that looks pretty sweet right there, doesn't it? Just wish we didn't have so many outs there. But again, bouncing off 90, that was a key level. Then we just kept on falling down. It is your P&L number one. Look, I can't do this without everybody. Can't do this without our guests. Thank you, Miss Danielle Shay from Simpler Trading. Go make sure you find her. YouTube, Twitter. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on X. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're basically every single place that you can find streaming, except for Rumble. I think we're going to do that soon. Join me tomorrow at 8:30 when, guess what? I do it all over again. But tomorrow it's a podcast. So we'll get to that podcast. No market recap show tomorrow, but I'm here at 8:30 where I will address Donnie Zimbabwe, that 905 NVIDIA. Your boy will probably be short. I'll see everybody tomorrow. It was a green day, but talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.